Hey, welcome to the DBB channel, and today we do have the all-for-one versus the blue Ichigo. And of course, this Ichigo was released just last Friday, alright? So it's going to be a very new deck. It's going to be the blue Ichigo, and the blue Ichigo really plays around the Zangetsu and the Getsuga with the new red effect. And we do see the Zangetsu here, whereby if you do discard it, you do draw additional card. There's this very good synergy because the whole Ichigo does actually have this discard mechanic, whereby if you do discard a card, you do gain additional effects. So in this game itself, we're going to see how well the cards synergize, and we do see him actually hitting to the AP2 Ichigo and into hand. And I got to say the AP2 Ichigo is a very rounded card in a sense because it does actually have a built-in removal, but however it's AP2. And AP2 sometimes can be seen as very resource heavy, but on the left side, alright, let's talk about the left side. We actually do have the all-for-one, which actually received a boost in the previous set as well, even with the whole Toga as well as Shigaraki, and of course a new all-for-one to play around. And we also see the Orihime coming down, which allows him to bounce one card back to his hand, effectively minusing 1 on the field. However, you do add a 2 energy below from your outside area to your hand. In his case, the My Name is Zangetsu, which allows him to really cycle even further later in the stage of the game. As we do see the opponent on the left actually going for the Shigaraki as well as Toga, going to swing with the Shigaraki here, hitting to get Rukia. Alright, so we actually do see the right player mixing the whole Ichigo with the Rukia, and I would say the Rukia really is kind of resource heavy, given that it does only do well if you do have an AP2 card in the field. And of course, this synergizes well with the AP2 Ichigo, which is definitely on the front line right now. Let's go for the draw 1, discard 1, which allow you to discard those Zangetsu and the Getsuga if you want to. And we do see actually hard playing the Ichigo in the front line instead of raiding it. So very interesting, as we do see a decay, basically a special for the left player, immediately removing the AP2 Ichigo, because he does have a very strong main phase ability whereby you do cycle every turn. And we do see him actually going for the double Toga, basically minusing 4k from the Ichigo and going for the swings here. I'll say a very greedy play, because by raiding you're effectively removing one body from your board, combining 2 into one body, and if opponent do remove the body, basically right here, they actually do get to -2 at once. So sometimes in the early game it's good to build your board, and if we do see a removal this turn, especially with the Ichigo here, we do see the left player going back to just 3 bodies onto the field, which is definitely very a good struggle, I would say. And we do see the Getsuga special killing off that Toga, and we're back to just 2 bodies onto the field. And this turn, he does have to actually go for the building of the board, go for the all-for-one in the energy line, but does actually have 5 energy here, so isn't too bad. Does actually drop the all-for-one here, which is basically a new card in the set as well. So he does drop the Shigaraki here, which allows him to draw 1. So very nice. And of course, we're just going to pass the turn here. Very unfortunate, but because he doesn't actually have any final in his hand, or rather doesn't decide to commit it. And we do see the Ichigo going for the main phase effect once again, and this time round dropping the Getsuga, which allows him to give a double attack by discarding 1 more card. So a very scary turn for the left player here, because now he's definitely wide open, as we do see him actually dropping the Rukia and then raiding to the Rukia here. So basically perma stunning the all-for-one until she does get removed from the board. And we do see the Ichigo in the backline actually going for the cycle here, dropping the My Name is Zangetsu, which allows him to draw 1 after that, and then actually raiding into the Ichigo here. And very unfortunately, he doesn't actually have another special in hand, or not, there will be 5 attacks this turn. He just dropped the My Name is Zangetsu here, which allows you to draw 1. And when attacking, you actually do draw 1 more card as well. The blue Ichigo definitely has a lot of resource going for them, because you know, they do have so much draw power, refueling their hand, and this opens up more plays in the future turns, as we do see the right player actually carefully using the AP2 Ichigo to swing first, you know, predicting a future special. And we do actually see 4 effective attacks going through here, and we do hit to a color trigger, very fortunate for the left player here. And I'm most likely going to see a Toga coming down. And because the Toga is actually a very good, I'll say, main phase ability, allowing him to actually -1k on the opponent's body. Now the Rukia here is definitely going to be very annoying, because as long as she's on the board now, the all-for-one will never be able to attack. This also removes the, I'll say, the focus, given that the Raider Ichigo does have a very strong main phase ability as well on the aggressive turn. So the left player here definitely have to make a decision, you know, to remove the Rukia, which is stunning his card, or rather the Ichigo, which definitely does promote a very aggressive turn on his turn. So we do see a Toga actually minusing the power on top of the Rukia, I believe, and then going for the Toga rate to effectively minus 3 more K. But of course, thanks to the Shiragaki in the front line, it does actually remove the bot, given that every time you remove a card or rather minus a card, you do actually minus 5 more 100. So definitely it adds up and kill off that Rukia effectively. And that's about it for this turn. And we are actually down to 3 to 2 lives, so very close game, I would say. However, we do have the Ichigo from the energy line pushing to the front line here, which does have a very unique skill. Alright, of course, the right player is actually just using it to cycle all this while, but actually does have a very good guard restrict. Alright, basically the 4K bodies cannot block this attack. And then we do actually have the Zangetsu, which plays very well into it if you do see it later in the game. We do actually see the Rukia coming down once again, alright, and I think it's going to touch the All for One, and All for One is not going to swing ever in this game, and we do see the Ichigo going for the ability, dropping the Zangetsu here, which I mentioned just now, which allows him to be unblockable, you know, with 3 bodies against 3k below, and we do see actually playing the Ichigo in the energy line here. So very scary, alright, because usually in the game state of UNIONARENA, we do actually see a lot of multiple 4k bodies in the front line because those cards are the one that actually allows you to go aggressive, alright, and with these guard restricts lying around, you are very conflicted into how you're going to play the bodies, and we do see actually hitting to a Toga rate here, but looks like there's no Toga, so it's unfortunate. I'm going to see Ichigo swing once again. And the Rukia freeze, man, is definitely very annoying because the All for One just staying there. Now we do hit into the stain there, which does have a very amazing main phase ability. Alright, of course we do actually expect to synergize with the All for One, but looks like we won't be able to witness that because of the bot state right now. Alright, the left player is definitely struggling a bit, with the right player having good bodies to go for the aggressive turn or rather close up the game in the next turn. And we do see him actually pushing up the Shigaraki in front line, playing the All for One in the energy line here, and just gonna go for the Shigaraki raid here. And of course there's no Toga this turn to actually help him to remove bodies, which is pretty unfortunate. And what's amazing is we only seen like about 3 specials from these 2 players so far, so a very well balanced UNIONARENA game, I would say. The All for One will swing for 4k here, and the right player does eat it, hitting to active trigger, telling the opponent pass the turn here, and that's pretty unfortunate. And we do have 2 guard restrict Ichigo, and looks like he does actually consider to actually remove the Rukia instead, and of course pushing the Ichigo into the front line. And with the Ichigo, or rather 2 Ichigos in the front line like this, he can actually make 2 4k bodies unable to block the attack. But fortunately for the left player here, he does actually have multiple bodies which are in 4k. Alright, we do have 2 of them not being 4k, so it's effective to block against those attacks. But we do see the Orihime going for the play again, you know, bouncing his Zangetsu to hand. I'm going to use the Ichigo effect to actually drop the Zangetsu, which allows him to be unblockable with 3k below. So the opponent definitely in this turn will have to remove all his bodies, and we do see the AP2 Ichigo coming down once again to bounce off their raided Shigaraki. And 4 attacks will actually go through here, so most likely game here. And what's actually scary, alright, is if the left player hit into a final, we are potentially seeing a game steal because, you know, Impact 1 exists in the All for One deck. And it's pretty scary, but looks like we're gonna see all the bodies just dropping and, you know, blocking against the attack. We do see the Airy on retire, drawing 1, discarding 1. The last attack will actually hit into nothing here, and this will be it. And the blue Ichigo does take the win here. Now this is the blue Ichigo deck list, and if you guys are interested in, you can check it out. And this is the All for One deck list if you guys are interested as well. Thank you for watching till the end, and do consider subscribing, dropping a like and a comment if you guys do enjoy the content.